Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jorge, and I'm back doing a little bit of a different review today. I'm doing a little bit of a review of the Apple Watch Series 8 along with a comparison to Garmin. I've kind of been between those two brands over the last 5 years, and so I wanted to show a little bit of the differences because I know people are constantly looking to upgrade or change their smartwatches depending on their needs. So just wanted to compare the two and let's dig in. So I bought my first smartwatch in 2017. It was the Apple Watch Series 2. It was a graduation gift that I had gotten myself, and I was pretty happy with it. You know, it was new to me. I wanted something that looked sleek and nice, and it was the first thing that caught my attention. You know, I loved it initially, but I realized that I wasn't really using all the features it had, or it was just a little too much. My phone was always on Do Not Disturb for personal reasons, so I was like, you know, why don't I just sell this, get something that's just going to track my fitness and do some other things. It'll notify me if I need to be notified for calls or whatever. So I started looking around, started shopping around, and I found that I really liked Garmin a lot, and that's primarily what I was looking at when I was comparing the two watches and what I wanted. And so it did all the things I wanted. It synced up well with Strava. You know, I could get through multiple days of a battery and not have to worry about it, even on long workouts. And it really just did everything that I wanted it to do, and it was simple enough when I needed it to be simple, and if I needed extra, like it had a little bit extra so I could like track my sleep or whatever it may be. A few months ago the battery kind of just stopped working. It would charge, but as soon as I took it off the charger, it would not work, which is obviously a huge problem when the whole point of the watch is to be with you at all times and to track your workouts when you're outdoor. You obviously can't have it plugged in an awkward charger while you're riding your bike or whatever. It wouldn't work. I don't know why I'm explaining that so thoroughly, but that's the reality of it. At that point, I'm looking at all the new Garmin's or to see what's been refreshed or updated or see what's out there. Also kind of just started to look at Apple Watches again just because the designs have been a little bit more different. There's new technology, you know, battery life might be better, things like that, just quality of life things that I might want to use now as I'm, you know, getting back into the smartwatch market. Going through the holidays, it had been a few months I hadn't had a watch that I was using, and you know, I finally decided on the Apple Watch Series 8. At that point I was like, okay, maybe I don't want Garmin, maybe I should get the SE, but the 8 was really appealing. Kind of just wanted something new, the latest and greatest, and so that's when I picked up this bad boy, and it's been rock solid ever since. I'm liking it so far. It's been about 2 weeks, and really don't have any complaints, but there's some things that are missing between the Garmin and the Apple Watch Series 8, and so I kind of wanted to talk about those things because I feel like those two are, well, they're at least my favorites in the smartwatch market. And so forgive me, I'm going to read a little bit of the script, but in this video I'll touch on things like screen, the size, tracking ability, phone connectivity, battery life, a huge one obviously, and the price. Just because some of those things were really important in my decision making for, you know, buying a new smartwatch. And so on touchscreen versus non-touchscreen, the Garmin's great if you just like simplicity. It doesn't have a touchscreen. You can kind of just, there's a few buttons where you navigate by clicking them, and it's super simple, super easy. It takes like 2 or 3 clicks to start your workout. There's nothing more than that. So it was just real easy to get through the menus. And the Garmin not workout menu was, the settings menu was more like a Sony camera, just so many things to push. It's kind of annoying, especially when you had to like reconnect and connect, and yeah, it was just a huge menu system in the settings, and it wasn't great to work with. Navigating with the Apple Watch through the menus was super easy. Obviously they've got touch functionality really mastered. It's really great when you're trying to get through a lot of menus and just trying to find the app, whether it's like Strava or checking your battery, checking your settings. The Garmin was about simplicity. The Apple Watch is more complex and has more features, and so I found, you know, that each non-touch versus touch was really well complemented by whatever you're trying to accomplish with the watch. Even though it's not a touch feature, having the dial on the watch is also great. Just again, little things that make getting through menus and searching for things really easy, especially if you're, going from the top of a long menu down to the bottom. It's really simple. Just scroll it with that, or you just like swipe really quickly. So now talking about the watch size and display. On the Garmin, it's a 42 millimeter, so it's between the 41 or 40 and the 44, 45 sizes of, the more base model Apple Watches. And so the Garmin's okay. It's not super bright. It's nothing to write home about. Again, it's super simple. It's there. It exists. It's not great in daylight, which is when I'm mostly working out. And so it would get a little frustrating to see. But again, it probably also helps to save battery, which is obviously a huge deal when you're using it during the day. It's heating up, and you want the most battery you can get if that's a primary feature that you're looking for in a smartwatch. And so on this Apple Watch, I went with the 45 millimeter. I'm a big person, and I have big wrists, so I don't want like a small watch on my wrists, kind of looking weird or looking way too small for my wrist. But I will say that I do find myself accidentally pressing against the crown a little bit. Sometimes if I do like a kind of movement, or if I'm on my bike, and I'm on, if I'm just stretching my wrist, it gets a little frustrating because it'll push the crown at times, especially if it's too tight. And so that can be kind of annoying. But other than that, I love the display, the resolution, the brightness. I think it goes up to 1,000 nits. I don't know what the Garmin was, but it was not doing 1,000 nits, which is great. Live in Texas, bright sun. You need kind of a bright display just to be able to see what you're doing in the middle of the day when you're working out. And moving on to tracking abilities, both have wonderful tracking ability via the GPS functions of the watch. So if you're working out outdoors, I wouldn't expect any problems. They both feel super accurate. And, I've never been concerned with one being worse than the other. I think they're both going to do just fine when you're working out. I will say I did have one issue with this watch tracking my sleep. For some reason, it didn't track my sleep at all for one night. I guess my phone or whatever might have been out of the sleep focus mode, which I usually have it in. And so it didn't record any data at all. And so I woke up and I checked my sleep because I have insomnia and I try to see, how I'm doing on a daily basis, and there was nothing there. So I need to investigate that a little bit more. It's weird that it would do that. I would think that it should track your sleep anyway, just based off your movements and you're wearing it. But that didn't happen for one day, so I'm going to look into that a little bit because it was a little weird. Moving on to phone connectivity, and obviously if you have an iPhone, this thing is going to sync up extremely well. If you have an Android, I don't believe it works. So if that's the case, you've watched a lot of this video for no reason at all, and I'm sorry I've wasted your time thus far. But I will say my Garmin tended to disconnect a little bit. It would be like this really annoying process to like go back, repair, disconnect Bluetooth, connect the watch, turn the watch on and off, and I never knew how to remedy it quickly. And I don't know why it would disconnect, and that was one kind of small nitpick that I had about the Garmin, that it would just do that for no reason. And it was just a pain to figure out. So moving on to battery life. And when you're talking battery life, it's really apples and oranges. The Garmin Forerunner 45, it had an advertised 7 days of battery life when you weren't using the GPS functions. And I can, say that that's true. That definitely happened. And so working out, if I was cycling 2 or 3 times a week, it would be like more 4 to 5 days, which is still incredible thinking about, it's using GPS and, a bunch of other things, still tracking your sleep. And so it was great. It was as advertised, and it had a really reliable battery up until the point where it disconnected or it stopped working a few months ago. Now the Apple Watch Series 8 in particular is rated for 18 hours with always on display. Tried it for a few days. I found that I was really annoyed by that, actually, just always, it always being on, knowing I was wasting battery. And so gave it a few days, quickly found out how to change it from always on display to just, raise to wake, which I think most of us are using anyway. I mean, why would you always have your watch on knowing that you're just not like staring at it all day and like it's not serving any real purpose? And so if you're like me and you like to, track your sleep and don't want to like be forced to charge it overnight, then turning the always on display off is automatic. It'll just be much more efficient. You'll track your sleep, I'll charge it during my office in an hour when I'm not really moving around, so I'm not losing a lot of that tracking functionality. And so yeah, I highly recommend turning always on display off, just because it's just way more efficient to not use it. I really don't understand why anyone at this point would be like, yeah, I'm just going to leave my watch display on all the time. I don't know why that's the default. That part kind of blows my mind, but you know, it's a real easy fix. I did take this Apple Watch out and use Strava on my bike ride the other day. I was out for about an hour, a little bit more than an hour. Started at 100% battery life, worked down to about 90%, and so, you know, it was good. It held up really well when I was working out, and so, you know, I'll have no problem taking it out again, especially using Strava and not like the native cycling app that's in the watch. I think the battery held up really, really well, considering it's using another app to track my workout. And so these batteries are in two different ballparks, but I do like that the battery is now double than what it was when I had my Apple Watch Series 2. And so thankfully, you know, you get that extended battery life. It's nothing to write home about either. Like the Garmin doing 7 days or 5 days, whatever that is, makes life so much easier. But getting a day and a half of battery life is a pretty good deal, you know, considering what it used to be. I think the Apple Watch Series 2 and the SE like only ever maxed out at 18 hours. So, you know, it's great to see that the battery life has improved so much, because that was a huge deal for me too. Like I said, no Garmin, but it is better than what it used to be. The last topic I wanted to touch on was price. And so the Garmin Forerunner 45, that's priced at $170 regular price. On Amazon, I looked it up and it's about $115 right now. That's a great price if you're just looking to track your workouts and track your sleep. You know, especially if you have long workouts, if you're training for a marathon or a half marathon, whatever it may be, the Garmin's going to be great for you. It's going to do the things that you need it to do. And, you know, it's wonderful. This particular model, the Apple Watch, is $429. I didn't get it on sale. I don't see any sales. In fact, I see it higher priced on Amazon for some reason. Don't know why that is. I got it at Best Buy for the retail $429. And, you know, it's a more complicated watch. There's more features. It's crack resistant. It has a beautiful screen. It's very intuitive with your phone. And so I understand it being that price. And so with the price tag being 4 times higher on the Apple Watch, you're really paying for that customizability, being able to change your watch band out, your watch faces, little quality of life improvements that, you know, you might be able to customize in your watch, versus the Garmin that's more of a straight up fitness tracking watch. To conclude this video, you know, I was a little bit worried about my hiatus from the Apple Watch, wondering and thinking, like, am I going to go running back to Garmin once I buy this watch? That really hasn't been the case. The display, the features, the things like the remote camera app, little quality of life things that are, you know, above what the basic Garmin can do for me. I also love the idea of just like going through Apple Watch apps and digging to see what's new and, you know, what's available. If there's any recommendations or suggestions, drop those in the comments. Those are always welcome. I want to be able to use this thing to its max potential. And if you're looking for the more economic version of this watch, the Apple Watch SE, I feel super comfortable recommending that, because there's a lot of overlap in the features and the quality and the build and constructions and things like that. Maybe you just want the 44 versus the 45. That's totally a smart thing to do too. I also really love this 4-pack of watch bands that I got. They're supposed to replicate the Apple Watch Ultra watch bands. They were 4 for $20. They come in different colors. They're pretty great. Look like they're durable. I'll link those in the description. Also make sure you subscribe and like. I look to do more comparisons and reviews of tech products that I'm interested in the future. And so just simply doing those things and watching those videos and sharing them, you know, you'll be supporting this channel, which is growing little by little, but I'm excited to make more videos and deliver more information to people. And so with that said, if there's any video suggestions that you guys would like to see, just let me know in the comments. Looking forward to doing more of these and to give you guys more info on these tech products that everyone has their eyes on. See ya.